Hi, today we're going to show you how to create a Navmesh to simulate collision and walking over ramps with complex GLTF models. So the first thing you want to do is go to Sketchfab and find a model that you want to use. We're going to use this one. You want to go down and download. You're going to download a GLTF so that it works. Sometimes the auto-converted GLTFs don't work, but this one works for us, so make sure you use that. Next, you're going to want to make sure that you have the A-Frame Inspector plugin recast by John McCurdy. Here's the GitHub. And what it does is in your inspector here, it's going to add this plugin that allows you to build and export a Navmesh. And we're also going to need John McCurdy's A-Frame extras. So once we download our model, we're going to import it into our code. So here we have all the typical stuff that comes with a general A-frame scene. Make sure you include the script tags for the recast, A-frame inspector plugin recast, and the A-frame extras. And here we all have the typical A-scene stuff. And here we import the GLTF model. This is a source file name. We sized it up a little bit just so it's easier to see. And also, just for now, we're going to create the rig. The rig is essentially just an entity that the user is on when you move, so that it can create this collision and also walk along the nav mesh. So some things we want to highlight are like movement controls. You want to use the keyboard, so you can use like your arrow keys. Constraint to nav mesh, you can set this to false for now while we don't have a nav mesh, but once you set it to true and have a nav mesh, then it'll walk along that. You're going to have head to the entity, which is pretty much where the camera is. And you can set its position and its height as well. So after this, you'll be able to look into the server that you create and view the model that we just downloaded. So this is the model, if I can get it to work properly. I'll restart it actually. I'm actually inside it right now. So this is the model. It's all in yellow right now because its textures are not working, but I promise you it all works the same. So if you Control-Alt-I to open up your A-Frame Inspector, you see that the model is right here. So it actually exists. And here you see the Navmesh builder. So here you can play around with some of the settings to build the Navmesh, but sometimes, especially with complex Navmeshes, that it won't work well. So what we're going to do is create some planes ourselves to make those smoother and nicer. So what we're going to do is actually we create this ground as a plane, make a small ramp for these stairs, and make another plane right here for the platform where the house is on. So if we go back into our code, I've actually already commented all this out, but these are the planes. We have a little ramp in these planes. You can just rotate one of them. This is a rotated one. Adjust the height and the size and the position to create some planes. And I had one plane that acted as the ground and one plane that acted as the foundation base for the building. So now when we refresh, and we are still inside the house, but you can see generally this is what it'll look like. The black part is the base, and then you see this ramp and the floor. So what we're going to do from this is we're going to try to build actually what we're going to do is we're going to hide the model we have already. You highlight this. And now you just have our planes and the ramp. And what we're going to do is adjust these features so that it works properly. What works best for this is creating smaller cell sizes. So just smaller cell sizes that are used to sample the scene geometry so that more of it gets sampled. What we usually did was shrink the agent radius as well. And pretty much what this does is like, and I can get a pop-up to show up. It just like makes the walkable area smaller for obstruction, so kind of makes the final mesh get closer to the final geometry. And the max climb, we usually want to shrink this. as well. So this is just like the maximum height that's still traversable. This kind of helps in the ramp making process. And then we have the cell height, which we usually want to make smaller, just so, like, along with cell size, that these are short cells, especially in like this kind of short platform kind of thing. It helps with that. In max slope, we usually wouldn't need this for this because the slope is kind of not steep, but usually, depending on the ramp size, you want to increase this so that more steep ramps can you can walk on those. And then from that, you're going to build it, and once you build it, it'll create something like this, depending on your settings, which might make it messed up. But what you'll see is like this light green over the original planes that you made, and you'll be able to export this if you click export, and then from there you can create this new entity of the walk mesh. You paste that in here with the file name, the position, you making that true, and don't forget to make constraint to Navmesh true. And then when you do that, you will be able to, if I refresh here, back out inside this house, there's a little ramp, and here's the walkable areas. And if I try to, I can't walk past the nav mesh because I'm constrained to this nav mesh. And I'll be able to walk up this ramp and pretty much onto this house. And that is pretty much how you do it. Coolio.